Hey, it's late and I'm tired. Excuse the brief comments. Thought I'd give a quick match overview for M3G Winter War 3-gun match held near Macon, Georgia. It's a one-day match, 6 stages with a prize table and whatnot to help make the match a little special. This match was run really, really well. The MD was super clear and communicative over email to all the competitors leading up to the match, going so far as to, I was really surprised that that went over that quickly, going as far as to say when he wouldn't be available and explaining parking super clearly, posting stages, stuff like that. I really appreciate having the admin stuff be sorted out like this so well. So huge shout out to Lance, who was the MD, for really excelling on the administrative side of this match. The stages, I'll talk about kind of each stage, but in general, because this match knew it was out of bays for 4 and 6 stages, they really doubled down on stages that presented options to shooters, which I think is kind of the core 3-gun. The stages generally had some compellingly different options presented to competitors, and I saw a lot of different stage plans on these stages. And I think that's another thing that helped make this match excellent. This first stage, a lot of the up-close stuff you already saw me shoot could have been optioned shotgun or pistol, and I just chose to shoot a lot of it pistol because although I have fixed my shotgun and now it's like the shotgun itself is functioning. It turns out more on that later. Stage 3 is a stage that could have optioned into a lot of pretty heavy shotgun. I optioned into shooting a lot of pistol, but you start with a breach. I ran to a second position, basically just to empty out the shells I had in my gun. Then I shot all the rest of this with handgun, which was a reasonably successful plan for me, except for I actually did miss 2 on paper. And you'll see here I ran back so hard the RO, I actually kind of outran the RO on this stage. But I didn't request a reshoot or anything because honestly I kind of felt like, hey, I got through the door breach in like 1 or 2 shots. The rest of the stage didn't go too poorly. I'm just going to take the score as it stands. Okay, stage 4 is really pretty insane. There's a few mandatory targets that you had to shoot with pistol, and then a few mandatory targets you had to shoot with rifle, and then some at the very end that were optional shotgun or handgun. And what this ended up being is you had to do multiple paths through and retreat and stuff like that to make this a successful stage. I actually did pretty okay on this one, but it was a very heavily, how do I put this? You had to follow a stage plan and memorize your stage plan and execute it well here. And this was a really sink or swim stage where a lot of shooters accumulated a ton of penalties because of just kind of how much you had to remember to do, revisit what you're shooting from where, when. That pause you saw me do there was me shooting the shotgun and my sight just turned off. Long story short, didn't know that my sight would do this, and of course the only time you find out is at the actual match. That's just the way things go. Stage 5 starts with standing rifle and goes into a shotgun portion that I kind of try to minimize the shotgun on whenever I could. But there were some mandatory slugs on this stage, and I'd say the stage was going pretty okay for me right up until my shotgun sight turned off again. So I thought it might have been a fluke the first time, and like an idiot, I trusted it. I also knew that I had slug targets to hit on this stage, and I didn't know where the heck my shotgun would be hitting with iron sights because I'd only ever tested these slugs through my dot sight, and my dot sight was failing. And so, long story short, I missed, and that was the biggest penalties in the match. I actually think this is my worst stage because of all the penalties I kind of have accumulated on here. Which, again, too bad. That sight's back at Hollow Sun now, either for repair or replacement. Yeah, just keeps turning off. Stage 6 starts with all the guns empty on a big platform they built for this match. They actually put real, genuine effort into building some really great props for this match. Start empty, shoot a bunch of shotgun stuff. There's also some slug targets here. You'll notice that my gun is now TACT division compliant. I have just removed the whole goddamn sight rail and the sight on it. However, I still don't know where my slugs are hitting, so I throw 2 at a slug target, and I'm aiming them carefully with the sights, but I'm missing, so I have no idea where I should be holding, which is too bad. Then it is an array of pistol and then some rifle. It all went pretty well for me. I think the farthest rifle shot of this match was here, and it was, let's call it, maybe 275, under 300 yards, perhaps maybe even around 250. So not a hugely challenging shot if you had a decent zero. On to stage 1, my last stage. This is a stage with, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shooting positions, and you need to visit most of them, or all of them, with all 3 guns. So there's actually a lot going on here. And this is an example of the match, but you see me kind of stumbling a little bit back and forth, kind of forgetting my own stage plan because it is pretty complicated. There are some targets that you can only engage with some guns here, and what it really forces you to do is commit to a stage plan and really execute on it, despite being able to see just, a lot more targets than you're currently engaging. Pretty challenging. And then again, this is the match designer kind of leaning, or stage designer really leaning into the strengths of what can we test given the confines of a 50-yard bay with 100 yards at the stretch there at the top. What skills can we test? We can make this complicated. We can make this challenging, even though we're working out of kind of a limited space. And that's something that I think is an example of them really making this match pretty phenomenal. All right, some closing thoughts here. So I traveled like 4 hours to this match. Some people traveled like 8. If you're at all kind of local to the area, local-ish, asterisk, I think this is a match worth traveling for. The admin side was phenomenally run. The stages were really challenging. And this match was stacked with pros. Like, it was like 70 people, and all of them were very regular or professional 3-gun shooters. Like, it attracts some really great talent. Just a comment on stage 4, memory stages I think are sink or swim. I saw a lot of shooters really struggle on that stage. I hope they don't kind of get too discouraged. And as just like a side note, or just foreshadowing for things to come, hint, hint, next video, will my shotgun woes never end? Jesus Christ, I'm tired of these things being a struggle. That's all, bye.